Welcome back to the OC Imaging Podcast. I know that it has been a while. I promised to drop a podcast each month. However, it just did not work out that way. I'm back now with another episode. This is episode 2 of the OC Imaging Podcast. And once again, I have a guest. Today's guest is Lando, somebody I've known for years. From my days of having the Lumix G85, which was way back in, I think, 2019. Yeah, from early on, he added me to some groups and stuff. And over the years, we've always kept in touch and, we swap ideas, sell each other gears and stuff like that. So, introducing Lando, the BTS specialist, to the OC Imaging Podcast.
Hey everyone, what's up? What's up?
Now, today's topic on the podcast is wedding videography. Of course, it's gonna be videography. I know I started off doing photography, but I am now a filmmaker, and that's just what it is. I'll take photos now and then, but this is what it is, filmmaking. So the topic today is going to be wedding videography. And Lando, you wanna go ahead with the introduction, or just an overview of what we're gonna do?
Okay, sure. Today we're going to do a little dialogue about wedding videography. When two persons decide to come together and capture in that moment, representing what they feel with images and audio, and presenting it as a film so that they can watch every anniversary or watch whenever and recapture that feeling that they had at that point in time.
All right. Now, in your mind, what is the importance of wedding videography?
Very important. Video is a form that uses audio and visuals to tell a story, right? So while they can also see the moment, they're also hearing the moment. It is interacting with two of their senses minimum. So that makes it more of an experience. The more of the senses are used, the more you become part of the experience. And capturing it, allowing them to watch it or to experience it years later is what's really the most important part.
Yeah, definitely agree with what you're saying. Not that we're saying that photography is not important, but it's different aspects because both can be shared or will be shared differently.
Yeah,
Most times you will have a couple go ahead and share their wedding photos to every jackman that exists or that they know, whereas the video is different, mainly because of the size might be a bit different, but as well as just the fact that the video, in a sense, might be a touch bit more personal to them. So yeah, I definitely think that wedding videography is super super important.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, the thing with photography, in some aspects, it is different, and in some aspects, it's similar because it's also telling a story. But you know,
Agree.
videos have the advantage in having motion pictures as well as audio, where with
Mm-hmm.
photography they have to tell a story within a frame. So it there's there's differences between the two, but at the end of the day, it is to tell a visual story.
Yeah, and like I said, both of them are definitely important. Photography will capture a still image of a memory, but videography, along with the audio, as you say, because both go hand in hand, will capture something that was said or part of the the ceremony, their speech, a speech at the reception, or anything like that, will be captured in video. So definitely, a little bit more than the photo. But like I said, both of them are definitely important.
Indeed.
Now, for every videographer, this might be different, and not might. This is definitely going to be different for every videographer. But in regards to preparing for a wedding day, how do you go about doing this?
I prepare for a wedding after talking with call them clients. Clients sound so distant. Preparing, preparing for a wedding day. Ensure all the gears are in check. Normally, as we wind down closer to the date, I normally check my gears, the cameras, check the lights. They're still working. Any faulty lights, any faulty gears. Um, check memory cards. Remove if anything is on them. Check wireless devices. So after confirming the date with the clients, we'd have some consultation calls to determine major shots, shots that are important, also to consider any customize or specification they might require for a very special day. As we get closer to the date, we're checking on gears to see if gears is fully functional, checking all our batteries, checking our memory cards, keeping them clean so that we have enough storage to record on the day. We're checking our wireless devices, are they still connecting, are they intact? We just keep an update on how our gears are. And by doing that, you know, when it comes to the date, we will be prepared, right? We'll have that reliability on our gears. Also, if it's a case where when we check, we realize that, of a faulty battery, okay, the light is not powering on, or maybe we're going to a venue that doesn't have any power, right? We might need to carry uh, generator, carry external battery with us, or even more batteries than would I usually carry. Um, or any situation that isn't of the norm, we would have enough time to can prepare for that or enough time to make adjustments so that we can still meet the requirements.
So yeah, I completely agree with pretty much all of what you said, and really and truly, we all want to be as prepared as possible and make sure that everything is up to par, up to standard, everything is charged, everything is working. Ideally, you'd want your stuff to already be charged days before the wedding, if not a week before the wedding. But at the same time, we always happen to just,
Wait,
charge some
charge
things
a
the
week
night
before the
before.
wedding? Come on, a week? You
I mean,
know,
yeah, you can do that. It's not like if you have good batteries, it's not like they're going to run out or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that yeah, we'd ideally like to do that, but majority of the times we just charge the night before the wedding, if
yeah,
not even the morning
the
of.
night before, probably a night, probably 2 nights before. Maybe you have
Hmm.
multiple batteries or so many batteries that, and then
Yeah, yeah.
you don't have enough charging stations. So, you schedule out when you charge, you make the longer batteries or the batteries that take longer to charge, you make those charge
Hmm.
probably
Hmm.
2 days before. And then the ones that can charge overnight, then you probably leave those to charge overnight before the day. So,
And
yeah.
yeah, that brings to mind the fact that I want to create a charging wall with some pegboards. I definitely want to create a charging wall because every time that you're supposed to charge stuff, something can't be found. It always happens. You find it eventually, but with the charging pegboard, the charging once you do it properly, you have all your chargers and your cables in one place, so you know that that's where you charge, and it's in clear view, so you can see it.
Hmm.
Kind of off the topic in a sense, but yeah, definitely important to charge up everything, and as much as we try to be as well, it's still being prepared. It's just that we're gonna charge it the night before the wedding. And there are some that are gonna probably get a top up in the morning just to be on the safe side. Now, for
Okay.
me, one of the things that I do, I actually have uh, a bigger size, a pretty big size power bank with me that has USB A, USB C, and also the regular DC plugs, the plugs that we have at home, on it as well. So, in the event that I need to charge anything, I can go ahead and charge those while at the wedding because not every wedding is going to be the same, and it depending on your package, and so you might shoot more than you normally would with some package than others. So it's definitely good to also have the ability to charge your stuff while you're at the wedding in the event that you need to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also looking at creating a charging station, as I stated, being able to keep accountability for the various different parts. You know, you convince yourself, say, hey, I had 12 batteries, but I'm only finding 10. Where's the other two? You know,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
because you're utilizing all the available slots, then you might put two batteries in you know, probably a random slot that you don't normally use or you don't even pass it that often, but it's just available. So you plug it in there, and then now when you're packing up and you're leaving to go on the wedding day, then all of a sudden you realize, hey, oh wait, I left those two watches charging behind the washing machine.
Yep.
So, you
Yep.
know, so as I said, having the charging station would allow you to then have all the batteries in
Yeah.
one set area, and
One set
then
place.
you're able
Yeah.
to keep account for
Yeah.
it. I've seen some charging stations that it's a Pelican case itself, and I think that's a brilliant direction to take it in
Yes. Yeah, I've
because
seen that. Yeah.
you can carry it while it's charging, right? So, and
Mm-hmm.
you just leave to charge, and then it's just one case to leave with all those batteries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I've seen that before, and one of them that I saw also had a plug. So in the event that you're at the event, you can just roll up the case beside uh, a power outlet and just plug in, and you're charging. No, we're talking a lot about charging and stuff, but that's not actually the only thing that we do. Well, at least for myself, that I do when it comes to preparing for the wedding, because you also have to scout out the location. It's not every time that you'll be getting weddings at a place that you actually know. So you want to be prepared in the sense that you know exactly where the bride and groom and the officiant are gonna be, where you're gonna need to place your tripod, where the persons in the front row are gonna be. Because I was at a wedding recently, and the front row was extremely close to the altar, so to say, even though it was on a beach, but yeah, the altar. And we honestly had to move the chairs on the front, and like all of the chairs on the front, and kind of start over the front row using that second row, because we needed the space to ensure that we're able to capture what we need to capture. And while it's important for the guests to be able to see what's going on, in a sense, we are being paid to capture this. So you definitely need to always be looking out for stuff like that, and making changes where necessary once it's possible as well.
I agree. I agree. I have been to a wedding recently where they would have the table for the unity ceremony in the area in which the bridesmaids would have been. So when the bridesmaids march up with the groomsmen, right? The guys are completely to the right side, and the ladies were still within the aisle. And then the couple,
Mm,
when you place the camera within the center aisle, the bridesmaids are not symmetrical
mhm,
to the composition. So as you stated, knowing some of these things are better yet. When as a videographer or photographer, you're going on the wedding day, reach early. Always reach early.
yeah,
Because
agree
yeah,
completely.
it would allow you to do the scouting, it would allow you to meet with the bride and the groom and family members. It will allow you to get the vibes, to allow them to get your vibes, become a bit more familiar, so that
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
you have to get into a position to capture the moment, you just tell someone, hey, I'm sorry, but I have to come here, and they'll understand. You get me? You have to create
Yeah,
that kind of
completely.
relationship because it's going to be a long day. Why would you want to? Why would you want the mother of the bride to have a problem with you for like 12 hours? Why? Why would you set up yourself? It's better,
Gotcha. Yeah.
as I stated, you create these relationships, and you can easily do this when you reach early. As I
Hmm.
pointed out
That is
as
true.
well, right? As I pointed out as well, scouting. You know, every wedding is different. check out the environment,
Mm-hmm.
check out
For
the
sure.
places. How is it a long walkway? Is it a short walkway? Is it wide? Is it narrow? You know, do you have freedom to move? Is the aisle the only exit? So if someone wants to get up to go to the bathroom, that's where they have to walk. And if that's the case, maybe you can't put the camera at the end of the aisle. Maybe you have to put it probably close to
Mm-hmm.
the front. Or maybe no, you have to figure out different composition.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an upstairs, and that's where you'd have to put the main camera pointing down towards the aisle. Maybe you have to do it from an angle.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
these things.
Some cases,
Go ahead.
some cases as well, you're gonna have to be a bit assertive and just let them know that they cannot walk here and they have to walk around. I understand that the guests might be a bit upset about that, but at the end of the day, again, we are being paid to do a job, so certain things we are gonna have to make sure it's uninterrupted.
Right. And in most cases, when persons wish to combat us about things like that, you know, we have to let them understand that, hey, we understand you're here to celebrate the unity of the bride and groom, right? And you let them know that, hey, we're here to capture that moment, right? We wouldn't want it to be a case that we missed out on that moment due to, I guess, wanting to leave the aisle, Or let me
Mm-hmm.
give you an
Mm-hmm.
example. Capturing the kiss, the famous first kiss. Capturing the first kiss when a baby started to cry and a parent have to leave with the baby and they're at the end of that. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have
Mm-hmm.
to go through such an experience, right?
Yeah,
So
for
as I
real.
stated, reaching early allows you time to think, allow you time to process things,
Yeah.
allow you to meet the persons, allow you to figure out the location. Also talk to the vendor, the location vendor, the
Mm-hmm.
venue vendor. Right? Talk to the
Yeah. That.
decor persons as well. Talk
Yeah.
to the
I agree.
audio persons. Get familiar with them. Because as I was stating,
That one's very important.
you're going to be there for the duration of time. So might as well you become familiar and be friendly, because that's going to make the work
Yeah.
easier. Because being friendly with the audio person is going to allow you to can get audio from their system, right? Being familiar with the vendors and the decor person to let you know when they're finished completing their set.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the best time to
Yeah.
capture this in an interval where you have the time available and such.
And looking even further forward, having good relations with with the vendor, with the audio person, this can actually lead to referrals.
Agreed.
So you definitely want to put your best foot forward and be early, communicate with everyone, let everyone know what you're about, and find out what everyone's about, so you know you're all on the same page. So including the photographers as well, making sure you're all on the same page, and
Photographers,
you
yes.
get the jobs done. The job done.
Agreed,
uh,
agreed.
another thing. Another thing that falls into the category of preparation as well is to ensure that, and this is one of my favorite topics, ensure that you have backups. I was at a wedding recently of almost everything. I was at a wedding recently, which I told you about, where the fluid head on my tripod for some reason started going crazy. And I have a backup tripod as well as a monopod. Did I have any of those with me? No, I didn't. Why didn't I? I cannot give you a reason why I didn't have them. But yeah, in preparation, you need to ensure that you have backups. And this is actually a different topic that we're moving into now, but it's gonna fall, or parts of it is gonna fall under preparation as well, and that's pretty much preparing for the shots, or planning out the shots that you're gonna need, or your shot list for that wedding day. Now, how do you go about this?
Shot list. So normally in our consultations, we inquire about moments, right, or scenes in which our clients would want us to capture, right? And make a note of that. Usually, based off our experience, we would have had an idea and a workflow, And normally when I state I don't work by myself. I work alongside someone else, and we operate as a team, right?
Hmm.
So we do the consultation with our clients, and then we gather that information on what's special, what's important, and that really helps to direct our shot list. We usually have an idea of the shots we'd like to get normally, but then once we arrive early at the venue area or location, that now customizes that shot list, right? So let's say, for example, we're doing a wedding at a seaside. You know that, hey, we need a shot with a couple, obviously, right? We need multiple shots, but let's use an example. We need a shot of the couple holding arms, looking together, right? Now, would it be that a
Hmm.
seaside, that means the seaside is the background, or we can allow it to interact with the couple. Maybe the couple can take off their shoes and go for a dip with their feet into the water. Watch the ripples, watch the sun as it touches the
Hmm.
sea and give that warm glow, right? We can use it in a case where we create a silhouette look, right? So, as I'm stating, being on time or early, checking out the venue, those things allow us to craft the shot list that we would have had set out for the couple.
And with most of what is being said right now, the one of the biggest thing that's coming up in my mind is communication. It is one of the key factors in preparation for a wedding. I mean, we're beyond that topic now, but it still kind of falls into the same kind of category. Communication is so important in the fact that you need to find out from the couple if there are specific shots or specific things that they'd want to see. Yes, you're there to do your job and you're doing it to the best of your abilities and using your experience that you have to capture the best footage for the couple. However, you still have to take into consideration there might be things that they want to see. There might be their parent, a shot of their parent that they want to see. One wedding I went to, they had a photo of the bride's mother. She had passed, and they had a photo of the bride's mother placed on a chair there as well. That's nice little details that you can actually capture and drop it into your video as well, or find out during the communication phase, find out from the couple if they would want that in there, or they would tell you if they want that in there. And to correct myself, I just said the communication phase. Communication is to be happening throughout to ensure that everything is going smoothly, everybody's all right. Double checking on your audio devices and stuff like that. So yeah, we're concerned shot planning. Um, it is important in a sense, and I say in a sense because, just like we said earlier, every wedding is different. Some things happen before others on certain wedding days, and some things don't happen any at all. So you can't actually have a set shot list for every wedding. And again, this goes back down to communication. So you're gonna know from
Yep.
the officiant, the bride, the groom, the DJ, what exactly is gonna happen, so you know what to do.
Well, in some of these instances, this is where experience can really help, right? And if you don't have the experience, that doesn't mean you're not able to do this because
Hmm.
you can gain this experience from someone else, right? As I state, varying locations and various types of weddings will then craft a shot list, right? So let's say you're not doing a traditional wedding, right? Maybe find out from the wedding planner the format or the layout of the program, the ceremony, layout of the reception, so that at least you have something to follow, right? At
Yeah.
least you have a guideline which, all right, this is where I can work within, right? Those kind of things can be a way to keep on your toes, even if you might be in a new space or a new era, or you know this wedding is done in a religious venue and they don't allow you to be in certain areas, you know? With
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
me, right. So like communicating as a state is super important. That will help you to prepare yourself. Being prepared is like
Hmm.
number one when it comes to wedding. Like, and you can't even be like as prepared for everything, but you
You will
can't.
never be.
I don't think you can ever be. But that
No.
doesn't mean you don't try to be or you don't aim to be,
Yeah.
because all type of things can happen, right? Similar to the example where I was given, where you're in a religious venue and you're not allowed to be close up. An officiant
Hmm.
might don't wish for you to put any device on them to record the audio, right? The,
True.
the,
True.
the couple might not use standing mics or use mics to talk. The venue might not have audio. I've been to venues where they don't have any PA system, right? And audio was a challenge, right? That wouldn't even have been something I would have considered before, but now I've experienced that. Now I plan with that in mind, right? So it's
Yeah.
a case where, as I stated, I can draw for this information from other persons, other videographers, other wedding cinematographers, and gather this information and then equip yourself, arm yourself.
Hmm. Yeah. And experience your experiences as well, because like every single wedding is completely different. And if you are a photographer, a videographer, an officiant, somebody who is married, you will know that on a wedding day, anything that can go wrong is very likely to go wrong. So you always want to try to be as prepared as possible for anything to happen.
Well, you said anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah,
I've heard this a lot of times where persons say to newbies or persons who just starting out, beginners, that hey,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to get a full taste of everything in videography, do a wedding or shadow a wedding. And they're not
True.
wrong. They're not wrong. I think
Mm-mm.
I think a wedding provides so many scenarios in the one day that like it allows you to really see points where, hey, this works good for me. I see points that, hey, I might not be strong here or this might not be my favorite thing to do. You know, it really can help you
Good point.
figure
Good
out
point.
like what are you trying to do when it comes to videography. But definitely shadow at
Hmm.
that point.
Yeah.
Um, as I state, there's so many things so many things that happen on weddings.
Hmm.
I've done some weddings where, on the day of the wedding, the bride cannot get through to the decor persons, to the persons providing chairs and tables, right? On the day of it. And she was in tears, right? And I arrive to that situation, right? That's a pretty tricky situation because she's in tears, everyone around her is trying to cheer her up, and it
Yeah.
and I popped up now to take videos. You know, it's a situation that's like very tricky because you know she's crying and she's doing the ugly cry where this they're going to mess up her special day. What are they doing? Why she cannot get through to them? Right? They should have delivered the chairs the night before and they should have set up from the night before
For
and
sure.
on the day 8 o'clock in the morning they can't get through to you for 2 p.m. with it. Come on, that I think that's kind of crazy. So of course she was in tears. Um, Grateful enough, they did reach eventually and was able to set up before the wedding. And they did have a smooth
Nice.
wedding after that. But it's like things like that. You can't really predict some stuff. I've been to a wedding
No.
where they have the bride have a makeup artist and there's an accident and that delayed the makeup artist 4 hours, right?
Ooh.
So many things can occur. And I've even been to a wedding where one of the persons who were there while we were getting the preparation of the men. got sick, and and we had to stop everything and seek a medical person, right? And lucky enough, there was a doctor in the compound. And guess what? That's not even the worst case, though. It's a combination because, fine, he was sick, but then also the power of the location went out. They were having some issues with power. And, if you didn't have experience to something of that before or aware of that possibility, maybe you
Yeah.
don't walk with enough batteries. Maybe you don't walk with enough power sources to carry you throughout the day, right? And most weddings, I don't think a lot of persons really understand how long a wedding can be and prepare for it mentally. Because it's not just only to prepare with the gears, but the mental preparation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One, you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired
For
at the end of it.
sure.
You're
For
going to be
sure.
tired, right?
That is
My
a guarantee.
100%. My thing about weddings is a case where my thing about weddings is a case where I am there for the moment to capture it so that I can represent that visually with the audio to the couple, right? And I've never really been to a wedding where there's a negative feeling or a bad feeling for the wedding. It's always this positive, loving vibes, right? All this good vibes. And
Good vibes. Good vibes.
knowing that I can contribute to that where they can experience that moment, right? That is what keeps me throughout the day and even to the end and even in the editing so that once it's delivered to the couple and they watch it and experience it from that perspective, you know that it really
Hmm.
made an impact on them. So
And be happy.
that allows me to mentally keep strong throughout a wedding day, right?
And continuing on the topic of shot lists, so to say, um, another thing that we were actually talking about today on the phone, we were talking about the fact that more we're feeling to capture more crowd reactions. So switching between shooting the ceremony and when, say, for example, you're shooting the bride and the groom is the one that's talking, for a quick second go on the they can just go on the bride's parents or the groom's parents or best man, bridesmaid, whichever the case might be, and just capture their reaction. Those can be little snippets that you add into your video when it comes to post production.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, right? You definitely want to capture crowd reactions, but not just a wide angle shot of the crowd. You want to capture close up. This is where having a zoom lens would work out perfect for you. Having a closer
Impeccable.
and
Yeah, man,
focus
very
on
important.
individuals, right? Remember, while this is the couple special day, right, they are not the only one experiencing it. You want to give a
Mm-hmm.
proper representation of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you want to show that. And how are you going to show that? Showing who were there, showing them living the
Yeah.
moment with the couple, showing them experiencing that
Yeah.
moment with the couple. So, and
And they're
remember,
important to the couple too.
mhm, and remember, you might not know these persons, but they were invited
Mm-hmm.
by the couple. That means they're special to the
There we
couple.
go.
Of course, they want to show them.
There we go.
Of course, the bride wants her brother that she haven't seen in 30 years to show in the video. Of course, I've heard about a lot of stories where, you know, they have the video done, right? Edited and they have it. And they ask if there's any clip of a family member that might have passed a couple years after or so, right? Or if you have any clips of a baby doing this, things like that. And
Yeah.
while editing, without knowing these persons, this might seem as if it's not that of an important moment to you. But remember, every couple is different, every wedding is different. And this is where you do the consultation. Find out what means a lot to the couple. Get to know them so
Yeah.
that you can deliver
Yeah.
a personalized video just for them.
Completely agree. Now, you talked about zoom lens and This is not necessarily a technique, but the zooming in and zooming out, getting tight shots, getting wide shots would fall under the category of techniques. And this is our next topic that we're going to be talking about.
All right.
Techniques, like I said, zooming in, zooming out,
Mm-hmm.
going handheld, tripod, monopod, gimbal. I mean, we all know that gimbal shots look very good, but gimbal shots are not for everything. And for those who do handheld shooting, know that, yeah, some shots you definitely need that handheld. Like, again, we were talking this morning and we were talking about using a certain lens during the reception, during the dance, so we can get up close and personal in their face at some points, just to capture certain emotions, the enjoyment, the excitement, the happiness in celebrating after the wedding and all of that, or after the ceremony has ended. And yeah, you can't get a certain feel from what you'll be shooting if you're shooting on a gimbal compared to if you're getting it handheld. And like I said as well, I think having a mix of both is pretty good. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
In terms of techniques,
Yeah, in terms of techniques, I mean, there's a lot more that we can talk about,
sure.
and but I was just zoning in on that, just saying that these are things. So we're
There you
talking
go
about the
with the
handheld
pun. You're
gimbal
zooming in.
tripod.
I agree.
All right, quick microphone change. This is the famous Blue Yeti microphone. This microphone got me started off on voiceovers when I used to do tutorials, and I gotta say that I really enjoyed using this microphone. Let me know what you think in regards to the sound. Does it sound better than my current setup that I use for my podcast, which is the Godox VDS-M1? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, for this episode, we actually encountered some technical difficulties, so we're gonna put a pause on the episode right here. Let me know if you want us to continue. So this would be, or that would be, a part two, or the second episode of the OC Imaging podcast. Like I said, let me know in the comments below. Once again, my name is OC. I am your host for the OC Imaging podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.